More than 450 emergency shelter beds are available through Tuesday morning. More details coming up at 6:03.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
As the temperatures drop, the city of St. Louis still trying to get regional support to help the unhoused. I'm Maria Kina with the story.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. It'll be sunny but cold with a high of 34 today.
Meanwhile, a potentially historic blizzard powers through the Northeast. That's going to affect all kinds of things. We'll get an update from CBS at the top of the hour. Team USA wins in men's hockey. Continued reaction to that, plus the latest on the Cardinals in sports at 6:15.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. What's he gonna talk about? It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
I would say right now we are in the height of a major blizzard.
George Nicholas in Long Branch, New Jersey, as a massive snowstorm slams the Northeast this morning. Blizzard warnings are in effect in parts of 11 states. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
New York City, as well as New Jersey, Long Island, coastal sections of Connecticut are likely to pick up at least another 5 to 10 inches of snow on top of a foot already. And the same thing will be occurring in Boston through the afternoon hours and right on into tonight.
CBS's Brandon Goldner is in Wildwood, New Jersey.
It is incredibly tough to see out here with the wind whipping, power lines shaking as a result of the winds. We do have several outages here. Snow is still covering these roadways, and the snow is just piled up as a result of the plows coming through here.
More than 10,000 flights have been canceled from yesterday morning through tomorrow. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
If you are trying to fly into or out of Philadelphia north to Boston, you're not going to be able to do that until the storm passes and flights resume sometime Tuesday.
Chris says Baltimore and Washington Reagan also have a significant number of cancellations. Americans are trapped in hotel rooms in Mexico. Others glad to be back in the U.S. after the Mexican military took out El Mencho, the nation's most powerful drug cartel leader. Olga Medina's made it from Puerto Vallarta to Houston after she saw smoke rising from outside her plane.
I feel safe now, but I'm still shaking because I can't believe this has happened to us.
Chaos and violence have erupted across several Mexican states. More allegations are emerging in the UK after Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's arrest last week.
Two former civil servants have told the BBC that then Prince Andrew expensed massages and excessive travel costs while working as the UK's trade envoy, costs that were ultimately paid by British taxpayers. And one of the whistleblowers says he was overruled when he tried to deny the claims. Police, meanwhile, continue to search Andrew's former home on the grounds of Windsor Castle, with multiple other investigations underway into Andrew's links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
New numbers from the CDC document a sharp rise in the number of people taking anti-anxiety meds since the pandemic, especially young people. AFF Health News contributor Philip Reese.
As more people get on antidepressants, more people know someone who's on an antidepressant. So when something reaches a tipping point, or when somebody knows many people who are doing something, there's less of a stigma for those people to do it themselves.
Dow futures down 137. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It is 6:04. We've got partly cloudy skies, 16 degrees, feels like 2. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Over the weekend, the city of St. Louis reactivated the Code Blue Level 3 status, meaning 450 additional emergency shelter beds are available until Tuesday morning.
That number is in addition to the 400 beds normally available. But KMOX talked with St. Louis Controller Donna Behringer about the unhoused and where things stand.
Under Mayor Slay, when I was an alderman, they actually went out to the unhoused and they were able to get where they came from. And over 40%, and that was back then, weren't even from our region.
Behringer says St. Louis has a high density of the services the unhoused need, and that's why they end up here. However,
The problem is we're taking on an undue hardship for people who aren't from our region. Does that mean we shouldn't help them? Absolutely not. What it means, though, is that we should be given a larger share to take care of them.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
A former fire chief and a young woman dead following a shooting in Ferguson.
Police responded to a shots fired call around 6 o'clock Saturday night in the 500 block of North Clay. Both people were found inside a home with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. One of the victims has been identified as Henry Williams, the former fire chief of Berkeley. The second victim is a woman who was found alongside him. Police say they don't believe this was a random act. They say they're interviewing several people to establish the timeline of events and determine a motive for the shootings. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
Ferguson police report the suspect, 61-year-old Linda Hayden, has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. She's being held on a $2 million cash-only bond.
Firefighters in St. Louis worked a fire early Sunday morning in the 4500 block of North Kings Highway. 2 people were rescued. One was seriously injured. A third person had to be taken out of an adjacent building but was not injured.
The vacant 2-story building had heavy fire visible from both floors. Fire investigators have been called in. Earlier on Sunday afternoon, a maintenance building abandoned on the campus of the former Cleveland High School on Louisiana off South Grand caught fire. There were no reports of injuries.
Welcome to Fighterland, USA, Mr. Secretary.
Last week, KMOX reported on the Department of War Secretary Pete Hegseth's visit to Boeing. Senator Eric Schmidt.
What you guys do each and every day to protect this great country, the weapon systems that are built here, the fighter jets that are built here.
Schmidt over the weekend posted on X, quote, St. Louis continues to power America's arsenal of freedom. The Air Force is moving the T-7 Red Hawk into production.
Fresh off a defeat in the U.S. Supreme Court over tariffs, President Trump set to deliver his State of the Union speech tomorrow. What should he say?
KMOX Republican analyst John Hancock says the president should focus on the cost of living and inflation. That's what people care about. He should not keep beating the drum of tariffs because that's turning out to be a losing strategy.
I can't explain why he has this fascination, but I don't think it's been helpful for him. And it certainly has not been helpful as it relates to public opinion.
Democratic analyst Michael Kelly says he doesn't have any advice for the president, but he does have some for the Democrats.
I'm just hopeful that my party shows dignity and class and just keeps their mouths shut, and we don't see this turn into a food fight later this week.
A growing number of Democrats say they'll boycott the State of the Union. Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will give the Democratic response to Trump's speech. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
Article 1 of the Constitution and decades of Supreme Court precedent make it clear that the president cannot take over the administration of elections from the states. Those are the words of Illinois Senator Dick Durbin.
I'm old enough to remember when Republicans actually cared about the Constitution and the concept of federalism.
Durbin says President Trump said the quiet part out loud.
From the KMOX business desk, the former St. Luke's de Pere Hospital site was purchased in December, but so far the buyers haven't filed any plans or requests with the city. Dan and Ben Stegman have had a couple of casual conversations with De Pere officials. That's what the city administrator is telling the Business Journal.
The city study shows the best use of the land is for residential and light retail. Problems with the site include its challenging terrain, specifically the floodplain that goes through the site, causing stormwater and drainage issues, and the fact that the medical offices on the property are governed by ground leases.
It is 6:09. We'll take a break here and come back with traffic and weather for you. Stay with us here on Total Information AM.
When you've been injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or in a medical mishap, there are many reasons to call Morgan & Morgan. But here's reason number 5. We try more cases than anyone in America by a wide margin. We are on approximately 150 dockets a week and win a lot. Go to forthepeople.com to see our verdicts and results. I believe our results give you the best chance of a fair, fast, and just settlement. Insurance companies know who we are by reputation. Imagine me doing this ad if it wasn't true. They would be laughing. Trust me, nobody is laughing. Their employees and adjusters often hire us when they're hurt. They know, and now you know. All law firms are not alike, not even close. With over $30 billion collected for our clients, we became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get over to Roger Brand for more from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's been an easygoing morning so far, Tom. Monday mornings usually are, and they're looking great right now. Pretty cold out there, but other than that, not bad. So, of course, cold weather. We've had a few stalls here and there. The most recent ones, eastbound 70 at 64, so it'd be right near the Highway Z area coming in through Wentzville. I don't see any delays there. And they also had one westbound near 94. Again, both cleared out of the way, and things look great. We had earlier ones, 270 northbound at Doherty Ferry and Page, but again, no issues there. Even in the work zones, not seeing any delays. Still look good on the Illinois side. 64 O'Fallon, Fairview Heights. Of course, they work both directions over there, and they're still working until noon today, eastbound 64, east of 15th Street. But right now, again, that looks fine as well. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny today, but cold again with a high of 34. Clear to partly cloudy and still cold with a low of 23 tonight. Tomorrow will turn breezy and warmer with clouds and sun, high 56, then rather cloudy, high 53 Wednesday. There'll be some rain at night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we've got mostly clear skies, 16 degrees, feels like 2 downtown.
It's 6:12. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the Trump administration owes people in the state money now that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against his tariff policy. WBBM's political editor Jeff Buchholz reports.
The governor has been a vocal critic of the White House's tariff policy, which he says has hurt the state's industries, especially Illinois agriculture. And during an appearance here at Oak Park and River Forest High School, the governor told reporters the bill has come due.
Donald Trump owes the families of the United States and the families of the state of Illinois what seems to be about $2,000 per household for the illegal tariffs that he put on them.
And he says he's concerned that the Supreme Court ruling might not be the last word.
He is now saying he's got some secret plan to reimpose tariffs or something like tariffs.
And when reporters asked if he was surprised by the ruling, he said he's always surprised when a Trump-appointed Supreme Court follows the Constitution.
An Illinois lawmaker is working to address a growing need for diaper banks.
Senator Tammy Duckworth recently joined volunteers at a Keeping Families Covered diaper distribution event and warned that everyday essentials like diapers are becoming harder to afford. Advocates say 1 in 2 families nationwide reports not having enough diapers. Babies can eat up to 12 a day, costing families as much as $100 a month per child. Since 2023, Duckworth has secured $70 million in federal funding for diaper distribution programs and is now pushing bipartisan legislation aimed at helping low-income families access diaper support. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Employees of a major financial services firm are suing their employer, alleging millions in lost retirement savings. Stifel Financial is facing a federal lawsuit that could become a class action lawsuit on behalf of more than 10,000 Stifel retirement plan participants. According to the suit, Stifel retained underperforming funds for more than 10 years, costing employees and retirees up to $134 million in retirement savings. A Stifel spokesperson declined to comment on the lawsuit to the Business Journal. It's 6:15. What a day. The United States men's hockey team did what the women did on Thursday. Beat Canada, and this is how it sounded on NBC.
And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
An incredible win, historic, as the United States, as Kenny Albert said right there, wins for the first time since 1980 the gold medal. Connor Hellebuck, 41 of 42 shots stopped as he stopped breakaway after breakaway. Nathan McKinnon missed an open net for Canada. But there were some unbelievable saves by Hellebuck, some incredible gritty play by the United States. Bernie Miklasz on Sports on a Sunday Morning summing it up.
Great day for the sport of hockey because it was just such an incredible game. And the U.S. wins the first gold medal in the Olympics since 1980, 46 years to the day, as a matter of fact, since the Miracle on Ice. I don't know that this one was a miracle because the teams are both great, but considering the way Canada dominated that game in terms of shots, offensive possession, pressure, power plays, it was kind of a little bit of a miracle that the U.S. Killed penalties, maintained their composure, got incredible goaltending from Connor Hellebuck, and really won a game that I think, objectively speaking, if you would look at the stat sheet and all that stuff, you would say, well, gosh, Canada just was all over them. They should have won the game. And I think that's fair, but they didn't. That's the point. The U.S. managed to survive it and prevail in the end. And I think, frankly, was just a lot more mentally tougher than the Canadians, who seem to really have a problem with the pressure of the moment. A lot of missed nets, lot of grabbing the stick too tight, just not being able to put away shots. But it was just a great thing to watch. I just love the drama of it.
And it was a massive win for St. Louis hockey with Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Clayton Keller, all winning gold medals. In fact, the Tkachuk brothers, we'll hear from them coming up in 5 minutes at 6:22. To baseball.
After scoring just 2 runs in their Grapefruit League opener on Saturday, the Cardinals scored 6 runs on 9 hits in a 6-5 win on the road against the Astros Sunday. Manager Oliver Marmol thinks his club has taken a good approach at the plate in each of the first 2 games.
There's been really good conversation and just setting the tone in the offseason. Brownie and that group did a really nice job, but also right out the gate, just having real plans against these guys and almost treating it with hitters meetings and like you would in a regular season of prepping for the guys that you're able to prep for and have enough info to make it productive.
One of the organization's top prospects, 19-year-old Rainiel Rodriguez, starts as the team's DH, going 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Marmol really enjoyed watching him take some swings.
It was fun watching the Rodriguez at-bats. Those are good. Competitive. Definitely got some bat speed, and you can tell he enjoyed the moment a little bit, So that was fun. I'm glad the situations presented itself the way they did.
Joel Pozo and Cesar Prieto each drove in 2 runs. Thomas Saggese had a hit, an RBI, a run scored, and a snazzy defensive play getting the start at shortstop. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Kachuk Brothers at 622. We'll hear from Chaim Bloom on the way at 645. This is the home of the Cardinals and Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Who's the greatest to ever wear the Blue Note? Some debate it, but only one is called the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. 2026 marks 30 years since number 99 wore the note, and we're celebrating with an exclusive keepsake on March 10th. The Blues will rock retro jerseys against the Islanders, and the first 10,000 fans score a retro Gretzky bobblehead, courtesy of Amarin. Throw on your 90s sweater and lock in your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
When it comes to lighting, Gray Bar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Gray Bar mode. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
It seems like this weather is going to continue. The cold weather is going to continue here in St. Louis and Illinois for the foreseeable future to finish out the winter. Now, if you have been unlucky or you don't want to wait till you're unlucky and you need your furnace fixed or even replaced, call me. We can get your furnace next day. Sometimes we, depending on the manufacturer, it's not us, but just depending on the manufacturer, if they have the parts available, and here in St. Louis or Illinois, we can get you that day. But either way, if you're having problems with your furnace or you want to prevent problems with your furnace, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois, just one number. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's Bart Inman. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:21. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. And we start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's no complaints in the traffic department. The highways are looking good so far this morning, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. We just keep seeing stalls and keep getting them moved over the shoulder. So northbound 170 near Delmar, eastbound 44 near Laclede Station, the two most recent ones. Getting a little busier on the highways, but just a touch slow through Bayless right now, northbound 55. Doesn't even really, Bayless to Weber's just a little off the pace. Certainly not a jam there. And other than that, the rest of the highways look great. Even in the construction zones like 64 through the O'Fallon, Fairview Heights area, everything is still moving well for you there. Downtown Bridges still clear. Coming in from out west, 70, 64, southbound 61, hooking up from Wentzville across the Missouri River Bridges. You're good to go all the way through. 100 years, that's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
As for that weather forecast, it's a cold one today, a high of just 34 degrees. It'll be sunny, though. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, cold low 23. Heather Zare says we crank up to 56 tomorrow, breezy, warmer, times of clouds and sun. And then Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 53. Some rain Wednesday night into early Thursday. 18 degrees right now, feels like 3 downtown at the Arch. Let's head back to Milan and get the very latest on the Olympics. What an incredible scene that was. The United States beating Canada 2-1 in overtime, getting its first gold medal in men's hockey since 1980. The miracle on ice. We start with Corey Miller with KSDK. He's covering the Olympics for Channel 5, and he landed a fantastic interview. He was able to get the Kachuk brothers together to talk about what this means for St. Louis hockey, what it means for USA hockey, Matthew Kachuk and Brady Kachuk with Corey Miller.
Okay, guys, you told me you're watching Miracle, growing up, dreaming about this. You're living it right now. How does it feel?
It's hockey's our game. Hockey's the United States of America's game. It's the greatest country in the world. We have, the best support ever, hundreds of millions of people back home, so many people in St. Louis, everyone in St. Louis. we could feel the support, whether they're hockey fans or not. Everyone's watching. Everyone better be partying right now. Everyone better be wearing the red, white, and blue for as long as they can. It should be like a month mandate, wear the red, white, and blue in the United States and celebrate us and the other Olympian gold medalists.
How you feeling, Brady?
I mean, I feel on top of the world. I mean, just to do it with all my brothers here. And I mean, there's so many people that we could thank. I mean, Matthew said everybody in St. Louis, all their family and friends. And I mean, even every first responder, everybody that protects and serves our country, like, this is for them. This is for every American and
all the military putting their life on the line for us.
Every single person wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So we're super blessed and super grateful.
You're hearing that anthem. How emotional was that moment?
I just wish they put us next to each other. It made us go in number order, but it was my voice is starting to go because of that. I haven't screamed that long and that loud for a long time. So it's it's incredible.
I heard ultras help with the sore throat.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. I'll test that out.
With you two and Clayton and Joy Dunn on the women's side, that's 4 gold medals coming back to St. Louis. What does that say about St. Louis hockey?
I mean, they developed all of us, and we wouldn't be here without the youth hockey in St. Louis, the people, the community, youth hockey. So for all those kids wondering if they want to play hockey or not in St. Louis, I'd give it a try because you never know. You work hard enough, and you have great coaches and good support. You can be an Olympic medalist.
It's amazing how much Matthew sounds like his dad, Keith Tkachuk. Congratulations to Keith and Chantal. Their boys, Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk, are Olympic champions, gold medalists, and Joy Dunn of the women's team. Clayton Keller, who was born in Chesterfield and grew up in Swansea, Illinois, is a gold medalist on the men's team. It was indeed a great day for St. Louis hockey. And now we shift to NBC's Catherine Tappan, who visited with the man of the hour. He scored the game winner, Jack Hughes.
Jack, the first gold medal for the United States in 46 years, and you delivered it. Can you just describe the emotions of this moment right now?
This is all about our country right now. I love the USA. I love my teammates. It's unbelievable. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we had so much support from ex-players. I'm so proud to be American today.
This was such an incredible game to grind out. I mean, you're bleeding right through it just looking at you right now. Can you just talk about how difficult this gold medal was to win?
Unbelievable game by Hellebuck. He was our best player tonight by a mile. Unbelievable game. Unreal game by our team. That's just a ballsy, gutsy win. That's American hockey right there. That's a great Canadian team, but we're USA. We're so proud to be Americans. Tonight was all for the country.
What does this gold medal mean to USA Hockey?
It's everything. Like I said, the USA Hockey Brotherhood means so much. Look at these guys. We're such a team. We've been together for 2 weeks. We're such a team. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we're so proud to win for our country.
Jack, the gold medal's coming home, and you're about to watch the American flag go up to the rafters and hear the national anthem. How many times did you dream that up?
I can't even believe this. I mean, it's such an unbelievable game. USA Canada, that's such a good game. They have so many great players. We're a great team. That's exactly how we wanted it to go. We wanted to go through Canada and beat them, and it could have went either way tonight, but that's an unbelievable win for the Americans.
Congratulations, Jack. Go enjoy it.
Jack Hughes with the game-winning goal for the U.S. He plays for the New Jersey Devils. Guess who's going to be in town this Saturday at Enterprise Center? Jack Hughes and the Devils will be taking on the Blues. I sure hope Hughes, and I know he will get a raucous ovation from the St. Louis hockey fans for what he accomplished. It's 6:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at Supplement Superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at Supplement superstores.com.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and mention the KMOX special.
It is 6:30 and it's a really cold start to the day. 16 degrees feels like 2. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're getting a little busier out there, but not terrible, all things considered. Westbound 64 at McKnight, a report of a stalled auto. Don't see any delays there. It's a little busy. North 270, north of Doherty Ferry, just merging on traffic, headed midway up the hill to Manchester, is kind of off the pace. There's a little more volume as well on northbound 55 now. Let's call it the Union Road overpass up to River Repair. Seeing brake lights pop on periodically through there. Still looks okay on the Illinois side, 64 in the O'Fallon Fairview Heights area. Eastbound 64, we're past 15th Street where they're doing road work. Things look like are doing okay. Out west, southbound 61, still good to go. Down onto 64 or 70 eastbound. Across the Missouri River Bridge is still hustling along through that area so far as well. Next update at 6:40 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, I have good news. Even though it's really cold out there right now, it is going to warm up to 34 today with sunshine. Tomorrow, clouds and sun 56. Wednesday, mostly cloudy 53. But by Friday, we're looking at temperatures closing in on 70 degrees. So it should be nice by the weekend. Right now it's 16, feels like 2.
And with that cold over the weekend, the city of St. Louis reactivated the Code Blue Level 3 status. That means 450 additional emergency shelter beds are available until Tuesday morning.
That number is in addition to the 400 beds normally available. But KMOX talked with St. Louis Controller Donna Behringer about the unhoused and where things stand.
Under Mayor Slay, when I was an alderman, they actually went out to the unhoused and they were able to get where they came from. And over 40%, and that was back then, weren't even from our region.
Behringer says St. Louis has a high density of the services the unhoused need, and that's why they end up here. However,
The problem is we're taking on an undue hardship for people who aren't from our region. Does that mean we shouldn't help them? Absolutely not. What it means, though, is that we should be given a larger share to take care of them.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
A former fire chief and a young woman are dead following a shooting in Ferguson. Police responding to a shots fired call around 6 o'clock Saturday night in the 500 block of North Clay. Both people were found inside a home with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. One of the victims has been identified as Henry Williams, the former fire chief of Berkeley. The second victim is an unidentified woman found alongside Williams.
Police say they do not believe this was a random act. They say they are interviewing several people to establish a timeline of events and determine a motive for the shootings. Ferguson police report the suspect, 61-year-old Linda Hayden, has been arrested and charged with murder first degree and armed criminal action. She's being held on a $2 million cash-only bond.
It is 6:33, and the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. And we'll be back after this with a look at your Bloomberg Money Minute.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
6:34 Total Information AM on KMOX. Your Money Minute is sponsored by Eamon Gander and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The New York Stock Exchange is open today despite the heavy snow hitting the region. And stock futures are dropping this morning with investors assessing President Trump's new 15% global tariff. It's looking like an uneasy start to a very busy week, with investors tracking the president's State of the Union tomorrow and chip giant NVIDIA's earnings on Wednesday. S&P futures are down 15 points, Dow futures falling 120. In other news, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy will brief lawmakers on Capitol Hill this week about the temporary closure of airspace around El Paso, Texas earlier this month. Duffy stands behind the FAA's decision despite the controversy that followed the action. And Mavis Tire is said to be looking to become a public company. The auto repair firm that counts Midas among its brands has picked the banks that will work on its initial public offering. Mavis traces its roots back to 1949. No comment so far from the company. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, if you are thinking of doing some work around your outdoor space this spring, summer, fall, make sure to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Now, how do I know this? Well, because they installed a fence for me, a cedar fence, about 13 years ago, and it's still fantastic. And I chalk that up to the fact that Chesterfield Fence and Deck always uses the best materials and the best workmanship. They have their own installation crews who know what they're doing, who have years of experience. Now, you can do this experiment yourself. If you know somebody in your neighborhood who's had a new fence or a deck put in and they went on the cheap and they went for the cheapest price, chances are that fence is going to be splintering, warping, nails popping out, even just a season later. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is quality work that'll last for years to come, and that is true value. So whether you're looking for a fence, a deck, a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room, whatever it is that you're looking for in your outdoor space, Chesterfield Fence and Deck will do an amazing job. And if you mention me, Debbie Monterrey, they'll also offer you 48 months interest-free financing. Find them online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too?
With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Tuesday night, it's men's Pelicans basketball action as they take to the court against Dayton. Pre-game 5:45, tip at 6 on your home for Pelicans basketball. KMOX.
It's 6:39. Snowfall intensifies in the Northeast. Many stuck at home under blizzard warnings and travel bans. Millions of residents in parts of the northeastern U.S. are stuck at home as fierce winter storms bring heavy snow, strong winds, and whiteout conditions. The National Weather Service says snow of up to 2 feet is possible in many areas through Monday, along with heavy winds and sharply reduced visibility. Emergency declarations have been issued in several states and cities.
An armed man shot and killed after entering a secure perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, according to the Secret Service. They say although President Trump often spends weekends at his resort, he was at the White House when the breach occurred early Sunday morning. Authorities say the man had a gas can and a shotgun. The FBI says investigators have identified the man as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin of North Carolina. They have not identified a motive.
Let's get back to Roger Brand at 640, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
That's a little busier on the highways, but all in all, not a bad run out there so far this morning, folks. If you're getting going right now, you just have a little bit of a backup. This is the place where you normally see delays first, so it's no surprise. Riding the brakes up the northbound 55 from the Union Road overpass, most of the way up to River to Pear. It's busy on North C70. I think we'll call it just a little north of Big Bend, most of the way to Manchester. More of just a slowdown through there. Looks okay out west, southbound 61 on to eastbound 64 or 70. 64 looks a little busy headed up the hill, Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but it really doesn't even look all that slow. I had a report of a pothole in the roadway westbound 270 around Lilac, so watch it through there. I'm not sure if it's right after you get out of the construction zone or not, but I'm not seeing any backups coming through Riverview. It doesn't look bad on the Illinois side through the work zone, though Fallon, Fairview Heights. And they're scheduled to still be working till noon today, eastbound 64 east of 15th Street on the Illinois side. But again, light enough volume right now, there aren't any issues there either. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 6:41, and it looks windy out there this morning. I'm watching the Missouri state flag flapping in the breeze at Soldiers Memorial across the way here. That's making things feel a lot colder than the actual air temperature. Heather Zaire, our AccuWeather meteorologist, has some good news, though, right, Heather?
That's right, because even though it is cold this morning, real feels right at the moment where we have temperatures in the teens and those gusty winds that you were talking about, our real feels are actually below zero right now. They are going to improve with the sun out all day. We'll get back to about 34 degrees, and that's still well below average, and real feels are still going to be about 10 degrees lower, but nonetheless, it is at least going to be sunny. Tonight, then, is not so cold. We'll get down to 23. A few clouds come in late at night, and we'll continue to have clouds off and on tomorrow, but it also warms up quite a bit. Still a bit breezy. We'll have a high of 56, though, and then even though it's pretty cloudy on Wednesday, we'll top out at 53. There will be a quick shot of some rain moving through Wednesday night, maybe as into early on Thursday, but then it's going to turn out partly sunny, breezy, and a little cool with a high of 49 for the rest of Thursday. That's actually pretty typical for this time of year. And then we warm up even more with sunny skies and a high of 67 on Friday. Right now, we are looking at 16 in St. Peters, 14 in Florissant, and 17 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Heather. You can see that American flag waving over my left shoulder if you're watching our video stream on X, Facebook, and YouTube. It is 6:43, sports in 2 minutes, including the USA hockey win over Canada. If you use TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, you may have seen some confusing alerts this weekend. Global Entry is suspended while the partial government shutdown continues. Our partners at Fox 2 report TSA says PreCheck is still on with no change for most travelers, but they will make adjustments if staffing gets tight. There was a brief window Sunday morning where some airports, including Lambert, reported pre-check lane closures.
The bigger headache right now is Global Entry. That's the program that speeds you through U.S. Customs when you're coming back from an international trip. DHS says Global Entry will be suspended as long as the partial shutdown continues.
The hands that make these planes here behind me are second to none, and that's because of the workforce we have right here in St. Louis.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt commending the work Boeing workers are doing. Last week's announcement that the aerospace giant will once again serve as the defense headquarters.
I was going to bat to make sure the F-47, the next generation fighter, is built right here in St. Louis. He was fully supportive of that decision from day one. I want to thank him for that publicly.
Schmidt talking about Secretary of War Pete Hegseth this weekend. Schmidt posted on X that the Air Force is moving the T-7 Red production to St. Louis. He gave no timeline.
Last Thursday night, 3 local Massage Luxe operators got a notice of termination email from the franchisor or parent company. By Friday morning, their computers were shut down, their phones were turned off, and their businesses marked permanently closed online. Also Friday morning, they filed a lawsuit.
According to the Business Journal, those 3 locations had been operating under oral franchise agreements since prior to 2010 with Massage Luxe International LLC, but now there's a new owner, RIR Holdings LLC, which claims it warned the 3 about the cutoff on February 13th. The 3 franchisees deny that and say they were in the midst of discussions about how to separate and transition.
How's this for a find? The femur of a mammoth dating back to the Ice Age, recently found in northwest Missouri. Our partners at Fox 2 report that fossil was found by paleontologist Jason Howery, whose finds include a giant deer, an Ice Age horse, ancient bison, and now this femur from a Columbian mammoth. Howery says bones dating back to the Ice Age have a specific sticky or glassy texture. He said as soon as he felt the bone, he knew he had made an important discovery.
Howery also shares his discoveries with community programs and school outreach aimed at sparking curiosity in the next generation. He said he wants to have the femur bone tested to determine its age and value, and that this discovery may be the most important discovery yet.
Now Jack Hughes puts it around the car. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
What an incredible Sunday morning that was on NBC as the United States beat Canada 2-1 in overtime to claim gold for the first time since 1980. People around the country were glued to their TVs on a Sunday morning, including SLU coach Josh Schertz during breakfast.
No, absolutely. The place was, everybody was glued to the TV watching, and place, you thought you were at an event when that goal went in. So it was cool to see, and all the patriotism and. Yeah, sports are, I think probably, at least from my standpoint, maybe the greatest unifier. Brings people from all different types of backgrounds together, and not just in the locker room, but, fan bases, and cuts through a lot of the other stuff that divides us. It's a unique part of society, for sure.
It was a special time for many, and we'll hear more from Josh Schertz as he gets ready for a game tomorrow night at Dayton. The Billikens are waiting to see not only where they are going to be at the end of the year, where will they be ranked today? They are ranked 18th. We'll see if there's a shuffle in the top 25. Meantime, the Cardinals picked up a win. They knocked off the Houston Astros yesterday in West Palm Beach. Final score was 6-5. In that contest, Rainiel Rodriguez, their hitting prospect, he's a catcher, but he was DH yesterday. He ripped a double down the left field line. He was 1 for 2, also drew a walk, scored a run, and got the attention, as always, of President of Baseball Operations, Chaim Bloom, who tells us.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Just a cool cameo for him, a nice opportunity. Obviously, we have some minor leaguers who come in to participate in our depth camp, and when you can and when they deserve it, you like to throw them a bone and give them a chance to participate on the major league side. We had some DH at bats available today, and So he's going to be the beneficiary of that. And it'll be a nice little way to show everybody someone we're really excited about. Obviously, he still is a ways away. So don't read into this anything other than him just getting a cool opportunity to play in a big league game. But we're super excited about his future.
There are others as well. Joshua Baez is going to get some looks. The up-and-comer J.J. Weatherholt, who has a great chance to be the starting second baseman for this club when they open the season on March 26. Much more on the Cardinals on the Gas House Gang today at noon here on KMOX. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there'll be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX. Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brand. It is 6:50, and Roger's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the things are moving along pretty nicely for the most part, Debbie. Getting a little busier in spots. We had an incident reported north 270 before 44. I see some slow traffic. Looks like it's out of the way, but slow traffic just north of Gravois, about midway up to 44. And then you're still busy from Doherty Ferry up the hill to Manchester. Eastbound 64, a little slow at Lake St. Louis Boulevard or approaching it. Eastbound 70, just a little busy at Highway K right now. Northbound 55, of course, you always have delays. Seeing some slow stuff down Highway A midway up to McNutt. It's not really normal. And then it is the work zone, though. And then we'll see a slow going again from about Bayless headed up to River to Pear downtown. Still okay westbound across the Poplar over in the O'Fallon Fairview Heights area in the work zone. Things are still in great shape for you as well. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Cold one today, high 34 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and cold, low 23. Tomorrow, we warm up. Clouds and sun, high 56. Some rain on Wednesday night into early Thursday. Wednesday's high is 53. It's 16. Feels like 2 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:52, and this is Total Information AM. Time to check in with our CBS News business analyst, Jill Schlesinger. And Jill, people look at the markets and say, oh, it's great. But a lot of people are feeling a little nervous about their jobs. And a lot of people who don't have a job right now are feeling really bad about things. So what's up with our job market?
You know, it's like this moment where you want to try to make a declaration about what is happening. And I think the answer is we're not exactly sure, which is a very economist kind of way to approach something. And here's what we do know. last year, there weren't as many jobs created as originally thought. That's after getting tons and tons of revisions and syncing up the federal data, government data with state level unemployment claims. So now we have that. We find out there's really like 10 or 15,000 jobs a month created last year. Not a lot. Okay. But this year, what we know is that we started seemingly pretty good with 130,000 jobs created in January. But of those jobs, it just seems really concentrated that we see tons of jobs being, not tons, but a lot of those jobs being created in healthcare and social assistance, and that a lot of other companies are kind of sitting in on their hands. And I think the answer is, even if the economy is growing, even if companies are spending money, that's not spilling over and moving into jobs. And part of the reason is that there's uncertainty, whether it's tariffs or other policies, just sort of generalized anxiety. And then on top of that, it's, well, we know AI is going to change our business. We're not exactly sure how. So maybe when someone retires, we don't have to replace that person. And that's kind of what we're seeing from companies across the country.
And when you take a look at, AI, I think that gets a lot of people a little uncomfortable in this job market, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because, I mean, again, if it takes 10 people to do a job right now at like a service organization or a news organization, if there's 10 people that we need to get a newscast on the air, right? If we know that AI will change that, it may not be 10 people, maybe ultimately we'll need just 3 people. But today we still need 10, right? Mm-hmm. So if one of those 10 people retires, I'm not going to replace that person. And so that's what's happening sort of in the here and now. But if you're trying to give your kid advice about like what to study in college, be careful. Because, listen, 10 years ago, what did we tell everybody? Oh, go learn how to code, do that, be a software engineer. And that is definitely an industry that is being upended by AI. So I would say, make sure that your kid studies something that he or she likes and is drawn to, is good at, right? And maybe lean into some of the skills that it's really hard to replace when it comes to AI. Then that would be judgment, right? Empathy and flexibility. Those are the things that are going to be like the great core characteristics of every worker in the next age.
Flexibility. Well, yes, very important. JillOnMoney.com/blog if you'd like to keep up with her blog. Thanks so much for the time. Have a great week.
Take care.
Jill Schlesinger is our CBS News business analyst at 6:56.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
The birthday shout out is sponsored for you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Lois Meyer in Maryville, John O'Reilly from Patty in Denver. Happy birthday wishes to Shirley Cleary, and happy 60th, Chip Unterberg. And also happy birthday wishes to the lovely Ivy Hartman.
This is the best birthday ever.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Get ready, St. Louis area. The St. Charles Boat Show is here March 5th through 8th at the St. Charles Convention Center. See the top dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks and climb aboard your next dream boat. New models, great deals, and summer fun starts here. Visit lakeoftheozarksboatdealers.com for details.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first at Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be the first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella replacement windows specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check them out on the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Roger Brand, what's the latest? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they'll send an EMS for an incident reported a crash, I guess, reported westbound 70 in Adelaide. I can't see it right now. Traffic's just a little busy through there. We'll keep tabs on it. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Monday, February 23rd. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Maria Keenan with what one St. Louis city leader is saying about the unhoused community.
I'm Tom Ackerman. More than 450 emergency shelter beds are available through Tuesday morning in St. Louis. More details coming up at 7:04.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. It's going to be another cold day today, despite full sunshine, high 34.
And potentially an historic blizzard powering through the Northeast. We'll get the latest from CBS News at the top of the hour. United States hockey win, reaction from across the country, including here in St. Louis, and the very latest on the Cardinals in Jupiter, Florida, from Matt Pauley at 7:15.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis. Spring training is here, and Cardinals baseball is heating up in Jupiter as young talent and big expectations take the field. The Gas House Gang is talking Cardinals all day long. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Bernie Nicholas. Smart takes, insightful analysis, real Redbird conversation, plus live reports from Camp Cardinals with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne. If it matters to Cards fans, it's on the Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on KMOX.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Snowplows out in full force in places like Havertown, Pennsylvania, as a blizzard blasts the Northeast. George Nicholas is hunkered down in Long Branch, New Jersey.
This is something I haven't seen in quite some time. This is probably like a once in a 10, 15-year snowstorm.
CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano trudging through the snow and cold in New York City.
This is a wet snow, not like the dry stuff we had the last snowstorm. And with these winds and sticking to all those branches, we already have well over 300,000 people without power. That number is going to balloon, I think, as we go through the next several hours.
A travel ban is in effect in New York and other states. This man took his chances in Milford, Connecticut.
People are sliding off the road. I'm seeing accidents. And I've got the all-wheel drive on. I'm taking it easy.
If you're waiting for a flight into or out of the region, forget it for now. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Airlines started canceling flights on Saturday to get ahead of this storm. And now, essentially, they're going to be waiting out the weather, particularly in areas from, say, Philadelphia north to Boston. You are not going to be able to fly in and out of those areas today. Flights essentially suspended. Now, the airlines are hoping to resume service to the Northeast sometime tomorrow.
We're learning more about the young man shot and killed by Secret Service agents at President Trump's home in Palm Beach. Correspondent Scott McFarland.
The gunman was not on the radar of federal law enforcement before yesterday. Multiple sources tell CBS News, but authorities say 21-year-old Austin Martin entered near the north gate at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort at about 1:30 Sunday morning and was armed with a shotgun and armed with a fuel canister.
The president was in Washington at the time. He's prepping for tomorrow night's State of the Union address as a new 15% global import tax takes effect at midnight tonight. Is trade rep Jamison Greer.
The policy hasn't changed, just the tools have changed.
Greer on CBS's Face the Nation.
We expect to stand by them. We expect our partners to stand by them. And I haven't heard anyone yet come to me and say the deal's off.
EU lawmakers say they will put a key trade deal with the U.S. on hold. With more young people being diagnosed with colorectal cancer, new research finds early screening saves lives. CBS's Michael George.
The study in Sweden found that both stool sample tests and colonoscopies led to more cases of early-stage colorectal cancer being identified. Cancer detected early can often be successfully treated, and in some cases prevented, if the precursors of cancer are detected and removed.
Dow futures are down 235 points. S&P futures off 29. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's a windy morning. It is 7:04, and right now it's 16 degrees. It feels like 3. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. The level 3 code blue is back in effect until Tuesday morning for the city of St. Louis because of the cold temperatures.
That means there are 450 additional emergency shelter beds available and transportation provided between 5 and 7 p.m.
While the city has increased the number of beds available for the unhoused this winter, the number of people needing shelter is not decreasing. St. Louis Controller Donna Behringer tells KMOX the city is taking on an undue hardship without regional assistance, even though Behringer says a large number of the unhoused or from other areas.
And that's what has to be focused on, is that we need to get back out there again, and we need to find out where all the unhoused are coming from, and we need to let them know, hey, you need to help us out.
Even though this unhoused problem dates back to previous mayoral administrations, regional assistance has never been given to the city. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
A former fire chief is dead, and a young woman is also dead following a shooting in Ferguson.
Police responded to a shots fired call around 6 o'clock Saturday night in the 500 block of North Clay. Both people were found inside a home with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. One of the victims has been identified as Henry Williams, the former fire chief of Berkeley. The second victim is a woman who was found alongside him. Police say they don't believe this was a random act. They say they're interviewing several people to establish the timeline of events and determine a motive for the shootings. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
The Ferguson Police Department reports that the suspect, 61-year-old Linda Hayden, has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. She's being held on $2 million cash-only bond.
Also in the news this morning, St. Louis firefighters working a fire Sunday morning in the 4500 block of North Kings Highway. 2 people were rescued. One was seriously injured. A third person had to be taken out of an adjacent building but was not injured. Heavy fire was visible from both floors when crews arrived to the vacant 2-story building. Fire investigators were called in.
Welcome to Fighterland, USA, Mr. Secretary.
Last week, KMOX reported that the Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited Boeing. Here's Senator Eric Schmidt.
What you guys do each and every day to protect this great country, the weapon systems that are built here, the fighter jets that are built here.
Over the weekend, Schmidt posted on X, St. Louis continues to power America's arsenal of freedom. The Air Force is moving the T-7 Red Hawk into production.
If you use TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, you may have seen some confusing alerts this weekend. Global Entry is suspended while the partial government shutdown continues. Our partners at Fox 2 report TSA says PreCheck is still on with no change for most travelers, but they will make adjustments if staffing gets tight. There was a brief window Sunday morning where some airports, including Lambert, reported pre-check lane closures.
They say the bigger headache right now is global entry. That's the program that speeds you through U.S. Customs when you're coming back from an international trip. DHS says global entry will be suspended as long as the partial shutdown continues.
From the KMOX business desk, the former St. Luke's De Pere Hospital site was purchased in December, but so far the buyers haven't filed any plans or requests with the city. Dan and Ben Stegman have had a couple of casual conversations with De Pere officials. That's what the city administrator is telling the Business Journal.
The city's study shows the best use of the land is for residential and light retail, but problems with the site include its challenging terrain, specifically the floodplain that goes through the site, causing stormwater and drainage issues, and the fact that the medical offices on the property are governed by ground leases.
We'll check weather and traffic first at 7:10. It's 7:08.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. Or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you a check at 7:10 of traffic and weather. The weather's really cold this morning, but we do have good news. It's going to warm up as we head through the week. Details on that after we get the details on your ride in from Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, all in all, traffic's not bad on the area highways, Debbie, with one exception I mentioned at the top of the hour about a crash on 70. They call it out as westbound at Adelaide. It's actually eastbound 70 between O'Fallon Park and Adelaide. Only the left lane is open right now. Emergency crews showed up just after we got done with our reports. There's just a short jam right at O'Fallon Park, so not even quite back to West Florissant yet on eastbound 70, but pay attention as you get around that bend because it is backing up. And we do have a backup in North County, westbound 270 at Bell Fountain, so it looks like we have an incident there. It's backed up to Lilac. Had a report of a large pothole, but they said it was closer to Lilac. This, obviously, the delay is at Bell Fountain. Also see a little bit of a delay on eastbound 64, east of Antire, midway down the hill to 141, so it looks like we may have some trouble there. We'll check on that. Other than that, volume-wise, we've thinned out. Like 55 headed up to River De Pere looks good. North 270 is back on the go from 55 all the way up to Ladue, and eastbound 70 and 64 out in St. Charles County. You're good to go. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Still cold today with a full day of sun. We'll have a high of 34. Then it's going to be cold again tonight. We'll start off clear, then turn partly cloudy, low 23. Tomorrow ends up breezy and warmer with intervals of clouds and sunshine and a high of 56. Mostly cloudy with a high of 53 Wednesday. Then there'll be some rain Wednesday night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cold out there right now. We're looking at 16 degrees in Florissant, 15 in St. Peter's, cloudy 17, feels like 4 downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:12. Fresh off a defeat in the U.S. Supreme Court over tariffs, President Trump delivers his State of the Union speech tomorrow. What should he say?
KMOX Republican analyst John Hancock says the president should focus on the cost of living and inflation. That's what people care about. He should not keep beating the drum of tariffs because that's turning out to be a losing strategy.
I can't explain why he has this fascination, but I don't think it's been helpful for him. And it certainly has not been helpful as it relates to public opinion.
Democratic analyst Michael Kelly says he doesn't have any advice for the president, but he does have some for the Democrats.
I'm just hopeful that my party shows dignity and class and just keeps their mouths shut, and we don't see this turn into a food fight later this week.
A growing number of Democrats say they'll boycott the State of the Union. Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will give the Democratic response to Trump's speech. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says President Trump hopes to nationalize voting.
Trump said the quiet part out loud. Here's what he said. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize voting. Those are the words of Donald Trump.
Durbin says this shatters 250 years of norms around federalism, all so he can remain in power.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the Trump administration owes people money now that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against his tariffs. WBBM's political editor Jeff Buckles.
The governor has been a vocal critic of the White House's tariff policy, which he says has hurt the state's industries, especially Illinois agriculture. And during an appearance here at Oak Park and River Forest High School, the governor told reporters the bill has come due.
Donald Trump owes the families of the United States and the families of the state of Illinois what seems to be about $2,000 per household for the illegal tariffs that he put on them.
And he says he's concerned that the Supreme Court ruling might not be the last word.
He is now saying he's got some secret plan to reimpose tariffs or something like tariffs.
And when reporters asked if he was surprised by the ruling, he said he's always surprised when a Trump-appointed Supreme Court follows the Constitution.
President Trump made a call to the United States locker room yesterday after the U.S. won the gold medal at the Winter Olympics.
Now Jack Hughes pokes it around the car. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States.
Jack Hughes with the overtime goal on NBC, and with that, the first gold medal for Team USA.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals.
Since 1980. And with that, an incredible moment and seen around the world. Let's start with Kelly O'Grady, who watched it from Milan.
It was incredible. I was in the arena for the entire game. Of course, USA went up 1-0 just about 6 minutes into the game. Looked really good, dominant in that first period, but Canada owned the second and third period. They tied it up 1-1, went into sudden death overtime. Remember, that is 3-on-3, and Jack Hughes, out of nowhere, just scores this game-winning goal. And when I tell you, everyone was jumping up and down and screaming, well, maybe not the Canadians, but certainly the Americans in the arena, because this is the first time in 46 years that the Americans have won gold, the U.S. men's hockey team, the first time since that Miracle on Ice in 1980.
The CBS News anchor joined us on Sports on a Sunday Morning, as did SLU basketball coach Josh Schertz, who watched the game at breakfast.
No doubt, high-level competition is so hard. And as you said, the ability to, competitive greatness, being at your best when your best is required. There's so much that goes into that. The preparation, the habits you build over an extended period of time, all the invisible work behind the scenes, and then being able to go out and compete present, right, and be in the moment and be able to play the possession in front of you. Because when you go into a game and you start thinking about the consequences of winning and the consequences of losing, and what happens here or what happened in the past or what's going to come.
One of the great moments in sports history, and Josh Schertz will take his team to Dayton tomorrow for a game. We'll have that for you on KMOX as SLU is looking to close out the Atlantic 10 Conference, get ready to be the #1 seed in the Atlantic 10 Conference tournament, which will be coming up shortly, and SLU trying to make a push for the NCAA tournament. Now to baseball.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens, and making memories.
The Cardinals collect their first win of Grapefruit League play, defeating the Astros 6-5. Kyle Leahy starts the game and gives up just one hit, albeit a home run, but strikes out 3 without issuing a walk. Manager Oliver Marmol is pleased with what he saw from Leahy, who is in competition for a rotation spot.
I thought he did a really nice job. His mix was good. I was able to get some punch outs. When you look at when it comes to getting ahead of guys, that's something he's going to do. One there today, but that's not something that it's going to be the case. But overall, I thought he did a really nice job in his first 2 innings of work.
Chris Roycroft is the first relief pitcher used and throws a scoreless inning. After Roycroft pitched to a 7.84 ERA last year, Marmol feels like he has taken a step forward.
When you look at the slider, that was better today, and he felt more comfortable, so that's a plus.
The win goes to Max Rajic, who throws 2 no-hit innings with a strikeout. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Matt, the report sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories, and by Happy Roof. They always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
Another huge storm is tracking right for us.
I saw. Honestly, I'm not worried.
Not worried. Your roof is older than mine.
I called Happy Roof. They did a pre-storm inspection, caught a loose flashing that would have caused a major leak.
Wow, I really need that peace of mind.
Protect your happy place before the rain starts.
Booking my free inspection at thehappyroof.com or call 314-897-2310. It's all about the happy ending.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20. Let's get a check of the roadways and the weather. It's kind of cloudy downtown, although it looks like the winds died down. Let's see what Roger Brand is looking at from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, better news in the trouble spots, Debbie. At least 2 out of the 3 that I mentioned in the last report. That's good news. They cleared that crash. Everything's on the shoulder now, eastbound 70 before Adelaide. So traffic's thinned out coming in on eastbound 70. They also cleared, that looked like a crash to me that they cleared over to the on-ramp from Bellefonte to westbound 270. So it's out of harm's way. And again, traffic's thinned out from Lilac to Bellefonte there. We still have this incident. Can't tell if it's a stall or a crash, but they do have the right lane partially blocked. Eastbound 44, let's call it east of Antire. Traffic jams are coming through Antire. It opens up before you get about midway to 141 there. Other than that, building some volume again. We're seeing a little slowdown. One more time, Bales to Weber on northbound 55, northbound 270, Sappington to Gravois north of Manchester. The right lane's a little slow and are getting a roadwork back up on westbound 64, both sides of 159. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire says it'll be a high of 34 today, low 23 tonight. Tomorrow, clouds and sun, a high of 56. Wednesday night, we get some rain into early Thursday and a high of 53. Currently, it's 17, feels like 4 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. St. Louis's mayor isn't mincing words about the lack of tornado recovery funds, but Kara Spencer gave a breakdown of some of the things she's looking at.
The funds that we have set aside and earmarked right now for tornado recovery are insufficient. The funds any city has are insufficient to make families whole after a massive and major disaster like we saw on May 16th. That being said, we are continuing to encourage anyone and everyone to apply. We are prioritizing folks, and while we have some funds set aside for the recovery right now, we're also in the process of building out that long-term investment plan. And while some of the things we floated out for water, including RAMs, et cetera, could be also ways in which we could fund additional efforts on the recovery. We're also tapping into the philanthropic community. We're also tapping into the private sector. There's a host of investing opportunities for ensuring that we have a bigger pool, a bigger pot than we have right now for the recovery. We have an enormous need. We'll also be leaning into the federal government and our partnerships there with Senator Schmidt, Howley, the delegation over there, to ensure that the community development block grant funds, the disaster relief pot, is as big as we can make it here, so that we have the long-term rebuilding funds that we need to rebuild.
Spencer says the funds are not broken.
We're in the process right now of adding additional funds to the home repair programs. But make no mistake, the city of St. Louis does not have the funds to make everybody whole. We know that. It's debilitating. And that is why we're leaning into our partnerships at both the state and federal levels to help make sure that we are filling in those gaps and leaning into our philanthropic and private sector as well. And we will be having more robust plans for that are in the process of being developed right now, and we'll be able to share more soon.
No Annie Malone May Day parade this year. St. Louis Alderwoman Pam Boyd, who is also the chair of the Annie Malone Children and Family Services Center board, said they're still reeling from last May's tornado that damaged their headquarters in the Ville, not to mention damaged large swaths of North City. Boyd said the board agreed the best thing to do is focus on the people who need help and that their crisis center currently has a waiting list.
According to the Post-Dispatch, the Annie Malone headquarters already needed millions of dollars in upgrades before the tornado damaged its roof, and then they had pipes burst during a recent cold snap. The parade is one of the largest African-American focused parades in the country, dating back to 1910. On Sunday, Annie Malone kicked off a capital campaign to raise money for repairs.
A major study in the UK looked at a cancer screening blood test advertised during the Super Bowl and found that it did not significantly reduce the number of late-stage cancers. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
Just one test, peace of mind. Sounds like the future. But a couple weeks later, the science tells a more complicated story. In a huge study in England, more than 140,000 people, this blood test called Galleri did not significantly reduce late-stage cancers. And that was the whole point.
New CDC data shows a sharp rise in anxiety medication use since the pandemic, with millions more Americans now taking prescriptions, especially young adults. Doctors say some treatments are being misunderstood amid growing debate online. KFF Health News contributor Philip Reese with analysis.
The pandemic certainly was a very anxious moment for a lot of people, and many of them sought treatment for that, and many of them have stayed on that treatment since then. But there's also issues related to social isolation that have been developing among young adults, especially with fewer people doing things that bring them together in community and more people doing things online.
Move over pickleball. Maybe some people have been picketing pickleball because there's a quieter racket sport gaining in popularity. Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
The big knock on pickleball is that loud plastic ball.
Whenever you hear that noise, it just gets on your nerves.
Now there's Tipty, a game with similar rules played on pickleball courts, but it uses a foam ball.
A little bit bigger than a tennis ball, very quiet. It doesn't make any noise at all.
Stephen Mitchell owns the indoor Boston Pickle Club.
So it's kind of another sport that we can use at our facilities.
Tennis Channel founder Steve Bellamy says Tipty is even less strenuous than pickleball.
I mean, you can just go out with no racket skills whatsoever, and you are playing a racket sport.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex. And you can pick that up at supplement superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings. And man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to supplement superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
It is 7:30. You are listening to Total Information AM. It's 17 degrees with cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis. It feels like 4.
That's Debbie Monterrey. I'm Tom Ackerman. That incredible shot just now on the Today Show above the Statue of Liberty and looking down at the snow that is falling in New York City. They're expecting 18 inches there. Just pretty wild. Anyway, Roger Brand, you are in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's cold and it's cloudy. I did see a couple little flurries a few minutes ago, but nothing like where they're getting back east, so be thankful. The lack of sunshine is helping on the drives in, I think. We are getting busier. We still have this incident. Eastbound 44, but east of Antire, blocking the right lane, or partially blocking the right lane, but everybody's getting out of it. So we have a backup through Antire on eastbound 44 right now because of it. Northbound 270, north of 55 through Gravois, that's slow. Manchester up toward Clayton Road's a little busy. South 270 in the work zone right past Ladue, starting to slow down just a bit. Northbound 55. Bayless up to a River to Pear, or Bayless to Weber, I guess, really is pretty solid. Westbound 64 seeing a little heavy traffic. Hampton headed out to McCausland. South 170 coming down through Airport Road looks a little busy. On the Illinois side, eastbound 64 starting to slow from the 70 split through 15th Street in that work zone, and westbound 64 west of 50 through 159 is backing up through that construction zone as well. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Dangerously cold temperatures are prompting the city to reactivate its level 3 code blue. It's going to be 34 degrees today, 23 overnight. The good news, though, is that it is warming up. So by tomorrow, it'll be 56, 53, and mostly cloudy with maybe some rain moving through Wednesday night into Thursday, 49 on Thursday, but 67 degrees by Friday. But right now, it is very cold out there. It's 17 degrees, feels like 4.
Yes, and dangerously cold temperatures prompts the city to reactivate its level 3 code blue. That is in effect until tomorrow morning.
That means an additional 450 emergency shelter beds are available. They say the unhoused need is not diminishing. St. Louis Comptroller Donna Behringer spoke with Maria Kina about the lack of regional support, even though large numbers of homeless are from other areas.
But we still take care of them, and that's what we have to address. We can't take care of everybody's unhoused, but if you want us to take care of the unhoused, at least help us pay for it.
Well, if it didn't happen then, and it's not happening now, is there hope that this will happen?
Yeah, because we can start the conversation over again, because I think there are more unhoused in our city than there were 15 years ago. I really do. I think the population in unhoused has probably doubled.
Behringer says seeing the unhoused is cyclical, but she doesn't have an answer for it.
A former fire chief and a young woman are dead following a shooting in Ferguson. Police responded to shots fired, a call around 6 o'clock Saturday night in the 500 block of North Clay. Both people were found inside a home with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. One of the victims has been identified as Henry Williams, the former fire chief of Berkeley. The second victim is an unidentified woman who was found alongside Williams.
Police do not believe this was a random act. Ferguson police report that the suspect, 61-year-old Linda Hayden, has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action, is being held on $2 million cash-only bond.
Your Money Minute is next. This news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part, they accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
It is 7:35. Good Monday morning to you. It's February the 23rd. Yes, you'll need the parka, warm up the car, all the things this morning. But good news, we are warming up as we head towards the weekend. Details on that in 5 minutes. Right now, it's time for your money report, which is sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Despite the significant snowfall hitting the Northeast, it's a regular trading session on Wall Street. Futures are looking at a lower open this morning after gains for stocks on Friday. Traders are reacting to the uncertainty over tariffs. Government officials said over the weekend that trade deals already negotiated with partners remain in place. On Friday, a Supreme Court ruling struck down the president's tariffs. In other news, shares of Novo Nordisk are tumbling. The drug maker says its experimental obesity shot delivered less weight loss in a trial than Eli Lilly's Zepbound. Novo pioneered new forms of weight loss treatment, but has since lost ground to rival Lilly. And Estee Lauder is in the second year of a turnaround, and it's looking to make some changes to accelerate growth. The cosmetics giant is expected to divest underperforming brands, with analysts naming beauty names such as Too Faced and Smashbox, as well as skincare companies such as Origins as potential options. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
The 2026 Home Expo is bigger and better than ever. Join the Home Builders and Remodelers Association for 3 days of inspiration with 175 plus booths, new features, and top local vendors. Enjoy free admission and free parking, hourly giveaways, live performances by local school groups, and even pet adoptions with Gateway Pet Guardians. One lucky winner will take home a red light therapy sauna from Aloha Pools and Spa, February 27th through March 1st at Belle Claire Fairgrounds. Details at hbrmea.org.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Deerbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Who's the greatest to ever wear the Blue Note? Some debate it, but only one is called the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. 2026 marks 30 years since number 99 wore the note, and we're celebrating with an exclusive keepsake on March 10th. The Blues will rock retro jerseys against the Islanders, and the first 10,000 fans score a retro Gretzky bobblehead, courtesy of Amarin. Throw on your 90s sweater and lock in your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and mention the KMOX special.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
It's exhibition preseason baseball today as the Cards face the Marlins. Pregame 11:55, first pitch 12:05. And you can hear the game streaming on Cardinals.com.
It's 7:39. Heather Zare's going to give us the local forecast, but out in the Northeast, snowfall intensifies. Many are stuck at home under blizzard warnings, and these are part of a fierce winter storm bringing heavy snow, strong winds, whiteout conditions. The National Weather Service says snow of up to 2 feet is possible in many areas through today, along with heavy winds and sharply reduced visibility. New York City, Rhode Island have banned non-essential road travel into Monday, with New Jersey implementing similar restrictions.
Well, it is really cold here this morning, but we are not grappling with a blizzard, thank goodness. So if you're having issues on the roadways, it's not because of the weather. Roger Brand has the latest for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, not many concerns out there right now, Debbie. We still have the one, though, that's with us eastbound 44 east of Antire, midway down the hill to 141. The right lane still partially blocked, but everybody's just completely staying out of the right lane. So eastbound 44 is jammed back past Lewis Road now, so all the way up through Antire, bumper to bumper on eastbound 44. Once you get past that point, of course, you're good to go all the way downtown. Northbound 55, Bayless up through Holly Hills is slow. North 270, north of 55 to Gravois. Doherty Ferry up to Clayton Road, the busiest stretches there. Southbound 270, approaching Olive down to Ladue is pretty heavy. Eastbound 64 through the Chesterfield Parkways is slow. And then again, briefly at the Interbelt, westbound 64, Hampton headed out through Big Bend. You've got volume. Eastbound 70 looks great. Wentz all the way downtown. Downtown, eastbound 64 from the 70 split through 15th Street, bumper to bumper. Those right lanes still closed for road work through noon today. And westbound 64, west of 50 through 159 is heavy in that construction area. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare. It is frigid, but give us the good news because we're going to warm up later this week.
We really are. And in fact, it's going to be a relatively quick warm up, and it's going to kind of come in fits and starts. We're going to already start to warm tomorrow, then back off a little, and then warm up even more. And that kind of trend will continue into the weekend. Here for today, we stay sunny and cold. Our AccuWeather real field temperatures are below zero this morning. It is very cold. We're going to get up to 34 this afternoon with just enough wind that there can still be some real feels in the 20s, even with that sun out all day. Tonight, clear for the most part, but then we get a few clouds in late at night. It's still cold, but not as cold as this morning as we drop down to 23. Tomorrow will turn out breezy and warmer then. We'll have clouds and sun. We're back up to 56 degrees. That is above average for this time of year. And then it's mostly cloudy and still fairly mild on Wednesday with a high of 53. We do have a likelihood of some rain for Wednesday night, maybe even into early on Thursday. But then on Thursday, it turns out partly sunny, breezy and cool with a high of 49. And then we warm up again on Friday with a good deal of sunshine at a high of 67. Right now, it's 16 in St. Peter's, 14 in Florissant, and 17 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:43. Lawmakers in Missouri are considering research into psychedelic drugs in an effort to address the state's high rate of suicide among veterans. Two bills at play in the Missouri House. One in the Senate would create grants to study ibogaine, which is a powerful psychedelic drug researchers say holds promise in treating addiction, brain injury, and psychological disorders. Ibogaine is derived from the root of a plant native to Africa and remains illegal as a treatment in the U.S.
According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the suicide rate for Missouri veterans was significantly higher than the national average from 2014 through 2022. That gap narrowed in 23. The two Republican Missouri lawmakers introduced the bills with the goal being to eventually have ibogaine reach FDA approval. House Representative and U.S. Air Force veteran Matthew Overcast told a committee to, quote, open your minds to the idea.
Last Thursday night, 3 local Massage Luxe operators got a notice of termination email from the franchisor or parent company. By Friday morning, their computers were shut down, their phones were turned off, and their businesses marked permanently closed online. Also Friday morning, they filed a lawsuit.
According to the Business Journal, those 3 locations had been operating under oral franchise agreements since prior to 2010 with Massage Luxe International, LLC. But now there is a new owner, RIR Holdings, LLC, which claims it warned the 3 about the cutoff on February 13th. The 3 franchisees deny that and say they were in the midst of discussions about how to separate and transition.
Employees of a major financial services firm are suing their employer, alleging millions in lost retirement savings. Stifel Financial is facing a federal lawsuit that could become a class action lawsuit on behalf of more than 10,000 Stifel retirement plan participants. According to the suit, Stifel retained underperforming funds for more than 10 years, costing employees and retirees up to $134 million in retirement savings. A Stifel spokesperson declined to comment on the lawsuit to the Business Journal.
What a moment for the country and for the game of hockey on NBC.
And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the car. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
Kenny Albert with a great call the first time since 1980. Jack Hughes with the overtime winner. Connor Hellebuck stopped 41 of 42 shots, and the United States wins gold. Catherine Tappan with Jack Hughes.
Jack, the first gold medal for the United States in 46 years, and you delivered it. Can you just describe the emotions of this moment right now?
This is all about our country right now. I love the USA. I love my teammates. It's unbelievable. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we had so much support from ex-players. I'm so proud to be American today.
This was such an incredible game to grind out. I mean, you're bleeding right through it just looking at you right now. Can you just talk about how difficult this gold medal was to win?
Unbelievable game by Hellebuck. He was our best player tonight by a mile. Unbelievable game. Unreal game by our team. That's just a ballsy, gutsy win. That's American hockey right there. That's a great Canadian team, but we're USA. We're so proud to be Americans. Tonight was all for the country.
What does this gold medal mean to USA Hockey?
It's everything. Like I said, the USA Hockey Brotherhood means so much. Look at these guys. We're such a team. We've been together for 2 weeks. We're such a team. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we're so proud to win for our country.
Jack, the gold medal's coming home, and you're about to watch the American flag go up to the rafters and hear the national anthem. How many times did you dream that up?
I can't even believe this. I mean, it's such an unbelievable game. USA Canada, that's such a good game. They have so many great players. We're a great team. That's exactly how we wanted to go. We wanted to go through Canada and beat them, and it could have went either way tonight, but that's an unbelievable win for the Americans.
Congratulations, Jack. Go enjoy it.
Catherine Tappan with that interview of Jack Hughes on NBC. He had some teeth knocked out. He was sitting there bleeding as he's talking to her. We watched that just as Sports on a Sunday Morning was starting on KMOX yesterday. Bernie Miklas with reaction.
Great day for the sport of hockey because it was just such an incredible game. And the U.S. wins the first gold medal in the Olympics since 1980, 46 years to the day, as a matter of fact, since the Miracle on Ice. I don't know that this one was a miracle because the teams are both great, but considering the way Canada dominated that game in terms of shots, offensive possession, pressure, power plays, it was kind of a little bit of a miracle that the U.S. Killed penalties, maintained their composure, got incredible goaltending from Connor Hellebuyck, and really won a game that I think, objectively speaking, if you would look at the stat sheet and all that stuff, you would say, well, gosh, Canada just was all over them. They should have won the game. And I think that's fair, but they didn't. That's the point.
It was an amazing day. Even Diego Giuliani, the president of St. Louis City SC, commented.
We saw it at home, too. You have two young boys. They watch all sports, and they were celebrating like Americans.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's good. It's good to have you here. And it was a great scene across the board. What a moment for the United States. Cardinals play today. As you heard, it's going to be streamed today, Cardinals.com, as the Cards take on the Marlins in Jupiter, where the temperature right now is 49 degrees. Feels like 40 in Jupiter. That is freezing for the folks down there. They're probably wearing ski coats. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first at Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be the first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella replacement windows specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check them out on the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Is your furnace on its last legs? Don't wait for a cold night to find out. Jerry Kelly and KMOX are giving you the chance to win a brand new furnace this winter season. Just go online to KMOX.com/contest through March 1st and nominate someone who you think deserves a brand new furnace. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. Win a brand new furnace. For more information and contest rules, just head to KMOX.com/contests.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:51 and time to check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, MoDOT pulled up behind this incident. We have Debbie eastbound 44 east of Antire. The right lane still closed, so traffic's jammed back just east of the Merrimack River Bridge, east of 109 there before you get to Lewis Road, just bumper to bumper crawling. That's the biggest backup we've got. Lots of slow going otherwise, but not jams. North 270 slow. Sappington Road overpass to 44, north of Big Bend, out to about Clayton Road, and then briefly past 64 Ladue. South 270, 364 down through Ladue is busy. Eastbound 70 a little heavy at Wentzville Parkway. Otherwise, eastbound 70 does great this morning. Eastbound 64. Barely a slowdown at Clarkson, a little busy from Ballas to Spady. East of Lindbergh, though, just a general slowdown all the way to Big Bend. South 170 bogs down at Ladue. Westbound 64, Hampton to Big Bend's heavy. Northbound 55, Bayless up through Virginia slow. Eastbound 64 from the 70 splits at 25th Street's heavy. Westbound 64, both sides of 159, you have road work delays. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire says it's going to be a high of 34, but we're going to warm up. Tomorrow, high 56. We'll have to deal with a low of 23 overnight. It's 17 right now.
7:53, 4 days after his arrest, the former Prince Andrew's fall from grace appears to be accelerating.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. Australia's Prime Minister has written to his British counterpart to say he'd back plans to remove Andrew Mountbatten Windsor from the line of royal succession. The former prince remains 8th in line to the British throne. Removing him would require an act of parliament here, as well as the support of all the members of the British Commonwealth who retain the British monarch as their head of state. Australia's become the first to voice that support. It is unlikely to be the last. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Thousands of Americans in Mexico are being told to shelter in place after the leader of that country's most powerful drug cartel was killed over the weekend. His death led to an eruption of violence across several Mexican states, forcing airlines to cancel flights out of the region. CBS News correspondent Karen Waugh has more from Mexico City.
The cartel he led has the highest cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine trafficking capacity in Mexico, according to the U.S. State Department, which had previously offered up to $15 million for his capture. The violence also hit Jalisco's capital, Guadalajara, just a few months before Mexico's second largest city is scheduled to host FIFA World Cup matches.
The massive snowstorm continuing to pound the Northeast. Blizzard warnings in effect for 41 million people. Several major cities are telling residents not to leave home unless absolutely necessary. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano is on the Brooklyn waterfront.
More than 40 million people are under blizzard warnings along 700 miles of East Coast from Maryland to Maine. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, the wintry weather covered the beach in a sea of white, where more than a foot of snow has already fallen. Just up the shoreline, dangerous conditions shut down businesses at this normally bustling promenade.
Usually, even in the winter, we got people coming through, taking walks on the boardwalk. So this is weird that it's kind of like a ghost town.
The Department of Homeland Security has reversed course after briefly announcing it would suspend TSA PreCheck, a move that caused confusion at airports nationwide. The mixed messaging quickly drew attention beyond frustrated travelers. CBS News' Willie James Inman at the White House.
Those changes were quickly reversed amid pushback from the airline industry. One trade group leader saying travelers were being used as a political football during their partial government shutdown, impacting DHS. All of this triggered by a showdown over Homeland Security funding. Democrats are demanding ICE agents not wear masks and show their identification. The shutdown now in its second week with no end in sight.
Pride St. Louis is launching a new grant program aimed at supporting area nonprofits, organizations, and individuals who serve the LGBTQIA plus community. The Community Give Back Fund will award up to $5,000 in grants each quarter. This year, there's a special focus on transgender and gender non-binary individuals, as well as marginalized youth and elders. The grant program is a complement to Pride's Feeding the Community and scholarship programs.
It's 7:56.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Hopefully after 25 years together, you trust me that I only represent good companies. Universal Windows Direct is great. They have a great deal for the DGS audience. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0% interest for 36 months so you can spread out your payments, same as cash. Also, $500 off your home improvement project. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Dreaming of college but worried about the cost? The Together Foundation is here to help. The Together Foundation is awarding 5 $1,500 scholarships to St. Louis area students who are ready to take the next step toward their future. Applying is simple, but time is limited, as applications will be accepted through March 31st. Learn more or apply at togethercu.org/scholarship. That's togethercu.org/scholarship. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Considering buying or selling a home? When it comes to the Gelman team with eXp Realty, numbers don't lie. Over 1,500 Google and Zillow 5-star reviews, nearly 6,000 homes, and $2.5 billion in real estate sold. Call 314-336-1991, thegelmanteam.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have the right lane blocked, Debbie, on eastbound 44 east of Antire from this earlier incident. Emergency crews and MoDOT remain on the scene. That's the biggest jam we have. It's jammed just east of the Merrimack before you get to Lewis Road on eastbound 44 all the way through. North 270 approaching Gravois, most of the way to 44 is slow. Doherty Ferry up to Ladue is busy. South 270 south of 364 down to Ladue is slow. Eastbound 64 east of Lindbergh to Big Bend. Westbound 64 Hampton to Hanley's heavy. South 170 delays at Brentwood. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Monday, the 23rd of February. Currently 18 degrees, although it feels like 3. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman. Coming up in this next hour of Total Information AM with Megan Lynch, a new Washington University study suggests a link between whether children feel their neighborhood is unsafe and the impact on their brain development. Megan Lynch will speak with researchers. Gen Z is now practicing abstinence and abandoning social media. More on this phenomenon coming up at 8:23.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. It'll be sunny but cold with a high of 34 today.
I'll be back for the Gas House Gang at noon with Chris Ranji. It's 8 o'clock.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Amy,
yes.
I have a real beef with bathroom doors in hotels. The stupid sliding door. No, give me a fully shut door, because the sliding door, you know what happens? There's always a gap.
There's a gap.
And so if you have a partner with you in the hotel room, there are sounds and smells and steam.
It puts a new meaning to the word butt crack.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Northeasterners shoveling out as they try to get ahead of the buildup as a potentially historic blizzard blasts the region. Correspondent Jason Allen is in Boston, where schools are closed, roads off limits.
It's very fine snow, but it's also very, very heavy. This is the kind of snow it's sticking to the light poles. It's sticking to the trees back here. We know that down to the south as well here, south of the city, they're very concerned about the possibility of power outages because of the branches coming down, falling on some of those power lines.
More than 496,000 homes and businesses have no power this hour. Meteorologist Craig Allen is watching the weather maps.
Blizzard warnings remain in effect at least through this evening around New York City and its suburbs, and then continues on into the nighttime around Boston. It will take until tomorrow during the morning hours for the storm to exit completely away from the New England coastal waters.
More than 10,000 flights have been canceled from yesterday morning through tomorrow. These passengers are stuck for now at Miami International.
Got here only to find the tickets that they did give us had no seats assigned to them.
You can't really change the circumstances that you're in. So we're just trying to make it the best of it as we can. And I think that they're doing really well.
Philadelphia's airport reporting 14 inches of snow. That's the most there in 10 years. United, Southwest American, and Air Canada have all suspended flights to Puerto Vallarta after widespread violence erupted following the death of Mexico's most powerful drug lord. El Mencho was taken out by the nation's military. CBS's Karen Hua is in Mexico City.
The cartel he led has the highest cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine trafficking capacity in Mexico, according to the U.S. State Department, which had previously offered up to $15 million for his capture.
Schools there canceled. Tourists are holed up in hotel rooms. 4 days after he was arrested, the fall from grace is accelerating for a former British prince.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. He's 8th in line to the British throne, so it would take a pretty unusual minibus crash to see Andrew Mountbatten Windsor ascend. But just in case, Australia's Prime Minister says his government would back plans to remove Andrew from the line of royal succession, something that would require an act of Parliament here and the consent of British Commonwealth countries.
After weeks of legal drama and delays, Rob Reiner's son Nick is set to enter a plea in his parents' murders. He's set for arraignment today at court in downtown Los Angeles. Dow futures are down 193. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At 8:03, we have partly sunny skies, 17 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Monday, February 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch. A former fire chief is dead and a young woman following a shooting in Ferguson.
Police responded to a shots fired call around 6 o'clock Saturday night in the 500 block of North Clay. Both people were found inside a home with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. One of the victims has been identified as Henry Williams, the former fire chief of Berkeley. The second victim is a woman who was found alongside him. Police say they don't believe this was a random act. They say they're interviewing several people to establish the timeline of events and determine a motive for the shootings. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
Ferguson police report the suspect, 61-year-old Linda Hayden, has been arrested and charged with murder, first degree, and armed criminal action. She's being held on $2 million cash-only bond. The level 3 code blue back in effect until Tuesday morning for the city of St. Louis because of cold temperatures. That means there are 450 additional emergency shelter beds available, and transportation is provided between 5 and 7 p.m.
While the city has increased the number of beds available for the unhoused this winter, the number of people needing shelter is not decreasing. St. Louis Controller Donna Behringer tells KMOX the city is taking on an undue hardship without regional assistance, even though Behringer says a large number of the unhoused are from other areas.
And that's what has to be focused on, is that we need to get back out there again, and we need to find out where all the unhoused are coming from, and we need to let them know, hey, you need to help us out.
Even though this unhoused problem dates back to previous mayoral administrations, regional assistance has never been given to the city. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Rams, et cetera, could be also ways in which we could fund additional efforts on the recovery.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer talking about potential alternative sources of funds to help people still struggling from last May's tornado.
We're also tapping into the philanthropic community. We're also tapping into the private sector. There's a host of investing opportunities for ensuring that we have a bigger pool, a bigger pot than we have right now for the recovery.
Spencer says there's still an enormous need and says she will be looking to the federal government as well as the Missouri delegation, Senators Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt. The Department of Homeland Security has reversed its decision to suspend PreCheck, but says the global entry program will remain shut down. CBS's Chris Van Cleve explains many travelers are left confused.
It's been kind of hit and miss. The Toronto airport tweeted that the pre-clearance section there, where flyers would go through global entry and customs before departing Canada, was closed there. We saw flyers posting on X that they did not have an issue using global entry in Denver.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says President Trump hopes to nationalize voting.
Trump said the quiet part out loud. Here's what he said. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize voting. Those are the words of Donald Trump.
Durbin says this shatters 250 years of norms around federalism, all so he can remain in power. From the business desk, fears about unsafe neighborhoods could be changing how children's brains work. I'll talk with researchers coming up next.
Race car drivers like NASCAR champion Jesse Love are a lot like commercial drivers, pros, but even the best watch the tape to see what they missed and get better next time. The Samsara driving coach does the same for your fleet, giving drivers real-time feedback to build safer habits. Samsara's AI uses billions of miles of real driving data to help fleets prevent accidents and protect drivers.
If it makes me a better driver, it'll make your fleet unstoppable.
Because even champions need a coach. Learn more at samsara.com.
It's a great time, if there's ever a great time, to purchase a furnace or an air conditioner. I know it's winter. We got some great pricing. You can get 0% financing. So if you have been told that you need a new furnace, definitely give me a call. I could probably save you lots of money. Get a second opinion. Call me. Next day installs for your furnace so you won't be without heat. Very long. A furnace average install about 2-3 hours for a furnace. So not a big issue to do it now. And like I said, great pricing. So if that's you, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Just the easiest number. And there's one. 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You're listening to Total Information AM on this Monday morning. Let's see how things are moving on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, the right lane's still blocked for this crash on eastbound 44 east of Antire. Traffic's jammed back to the Merrimack River east of 109, bumper to bumper headed up the hill there. Normally don't see any problems on 44, but today that's the worst spot we've got. Northbound 55 still kind of busy. Weber Road headed up through the Virginia area. There's a crash southbound 55 between Bates and Holly Hills. They have the right lane blocked. Northbound drivers are slowing for a look at it. Northbound 270, Doherty Ferry to Ladou's busy. Eastbound 70 and 64 coming in from out west are fine, but 64 is still slow. East of Lindbergh to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Bellevue to Hanley's heavy. South 170, just a brief delay at Brentwood. Eastbound 64 on the Illinois side from the 70 split through 25th Street's bumper to bumper due to the emergency road work going on there. And a little slow in the work zone. Westbound 64 just west of 159 for a brief stretch. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny today, but cold again with a high of 34. Clear to partly cloudy and still cold with a low of 23 tonight. Tomorrow will turn breezy and warmer with clouds and sun, high 56, then rather cloudy, high 53 Wednesday. There'll be some rain at night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Looks like we've got mostly cloudy skies right now. 18 degrees in Florissant. It's 16 in St. Peters and 17 downtown at the Arch. A new study launched from St. Louis suggests there may be a link between perceptions of danger and changes in the brain. The study of nearly 12,000 kids between the ages of 9 and 12 across the country is the largest ever study of brain development through childhood and adolescence. It reveals that kids' fears about crime and violence in their neighborhoods could be associated with changes in the brain's structure and function. For example, children who reported feeling less safe in their community tended to have smaller amygdalas, a deep brain structure that helps human beings assess threats and process emotions. Those kids were also more likely to experience mental health, cognitive, or behavioral challenges. The research was launched from Washington University in St. Louis. I spoke with Patrick Lindsley, a graduate student in the clinical psychology program, working under Deanna Barch, a professor of psychological and brain sciences.
But I think the fact that we saw that, for example, kids who had greater anxiety and depression earlier on, when we looked a couple years later, we see that those kids show increased concerns about neighborhood safety. That suggests to me that there probably is something about emotional responses that kids are having to their environment, and that maybe kids who are having more, say, depression or anxiety have a stronger emotional response to some of the things occurring in their environment, and that may contribute to greater concerns or greater perceptions that their neighborhoods are unsafe. And whether that is related to, just individual differences in brain function that are, kind of going along with those, greater anxiety and depression concerns, or whether that greater stress associated with, having a stronger emotional response to things in your neighborhood might be leading to differences in brain structure or function down the road. I think we're going to need to do some more work to figure that out and maybe try to see if we can identify some more sensitive measures. We were just looking at sort of the shape and size of the brain, which is important, but might not be the most sensitive measure of how well the brain is functioning, right? And there are other things that we could try to look at that might get at some of those more subtle differences that could be important for mental health and cognition down the road.
And I guess it's important to point out, too, that we're talking about areas of the brain that do affect our stress response, our threat response.
Right. Yeah, the amygdala and the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex are all really important for, how strongly we respond to stress, how well do we regulate our responses to stress, and are also regions that can be, damaged by chronic high levels of stress.
That leads to my next question, and this may not be something from your research right now, but when we're looking at these younger kids, is the brain forever altered by this?
I think that's a great question. I don't think that we necessarily know, especially within the scope of this study, and I don't think I can remember a specific article that looked at that. I mean, so it's a really important question. I think that this is something that Deanna and I are doing on some of my current projects, is looking more so at trajectories. Like, is it possible that within this one window we caught this difference kind of within some amount of brain structure? Or is it possible that, like within a few years, like their amygdala size isn't 100%, like kind of like recapitulated, and they're like back up to kind of being, on par with their peers who might perceive their neighborhoods to be more safe?
Yeah, I think, we'll be able to answer this more fully in the next couple years. But I think if you look at previous studies of other kinds of adversity that kids experience early on, I think we know pretty clearly from those studies that the answer is that for some kids, these are differences that last throughout their lifetime, and in some cases actually get worse, right? And for other kids, it doesn't. And understanding which kids it's going to last and which kids aren't is really important, because it seems to be related to potential like resilience factors or protective factors, right? That might also be present in their neighborhoods or their families, or when they change neighborhoods or change contexts and it's a safer neighborhood, right? So I think we know from other studies that nothing is fully deterministic, but that it is really going to depend on what other kinds of protective factors and supports and maybe, things that could help build resilience that we can offer to kids to try to, counter some of those negative, early stress and adversity influences.
What do you think this really means for our communities, especially those that maybe have had generational violence or poverty?
I think it's a good question, and I think that there's a kind of like a lot of interest in this idea of like how these effects of different types of adversity kind of translate generationally. I think what it means is that kind of a really, really good intervention for a lot of things beyond just kind of the perceptions of your safety within your neighborhood. But specifically in this instance, with how safe you perceive your neighborhood to be, are implementing at a policy level to impact kind of the built environment things that we saw to be associated with perceptions of neighborhood safety. So family level poverty, neighborhood level poverty, kind of like aspects of sense of community and things like that. So focusing on things like that rather than maybe techniques that we might consider currently to more directly address crime, I think are probably good interventions for healthy child development.
And I will also say that I think these data tell us that it's important to talk to our kids about how they are feeling about their environment and their neighborhoods, right? I think sometimes as a parent myself, right, I think sometimes it's easy to think, oh, well, I know objectively, what the neighborhood is like, right? But I think our data say it's really important for parents, teachers, community members to be talking to kids about how safe they feel in their environment, because I don't think we can assume that objective measures tell us exactly how kids are feeling, right? And that it may then be important if a child may feel less safe in their environment than we would assume they would because of sort of the objective measures. And then we may need to address, why does that child feel unsafe, right? And how can we help them feel safer, right? And, you may be in a neighborhood that doesn't seem like it has a lot of crime or violence, but yet the child is somehow feeling unsafe. And that might be then related to their mental, health status or cognitive function. So I think that's sort of an important takeaway lesson for me is like, it's always good to talk to your kids, but like, once again, it seems really important to directly ask kids how they're feeling and to understand how safe they feel in their environment and not assume we just know based on sort of objective characteristics of the environment.
How concerned, disturbed should we be that these perceptions seem to have a physical impact on the brain structure of kids?
To Deanna's point, it shows like there's a kind of some areas where we can intervene, whether it is on the policy level or the kind of individual level, to kind of help kids' perceptions maybe more accurately align with the neighborhood around them. So I think if anything, it gives us more information about kind of where we can intervene and how we can better understand this kind of aspect of neighborhood adversity. But I do think in general, like there is kind of alarm bells should be raised for a lot of reasons that we see associations across a lot of different types of adversity with kind of like aspects of physical health, aspects of mental health, and kind of changes within the brain. And so I think that is a broad concern that, I know that Deanna and I share, and I think a lot of people kind of across the country should share.
Yeah. And, just to follow up on that a bit, I think, there's lots of different forms of adversity and stress that children experience that are related to differences in brain structure and function. And that should really worry us because, we want to do everything we can to promote healthy child development. We should never think that any of these things are fully deterministic because, kids can thrive after all kinds of early adversity, right? And there's a lot I think we can do to improve things. But it should worry us as a community that, exposure to all kinds of forms of childhood adversity are definitely bad for kids' development in multiple ways and has the possibility of having lasting impacts.
That's Deanna Barch and Patrick Lindsley with Washington University in St. Louis. Coming up on Total Information AM, Gen Z now practicing abstinence and abandoning social media. Plus, if a doctor uses AI in your diagnosis and treatment and something goes wrong, can you sue? A new bill in Missouri would create rules for AI medical malpractice. 8:20, let's get a check of the roads, including eastbound 44, where we had some problems this morning. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's still the biggest backup we have, Megan. You're right. This traffic reports service at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. A big rig tow truck showed up on the scene a couple of minutes ago. They temporarily shut down all lanes to get it over into place. So the right lane is still shut down. The other lanes are back open, but we're still backed up at the Merrimack River east of 109 through Antire on eastbound 44. Northbound 55, you got heavy traffic from about Bayless all the way up through Virginia. Northbound 270, north of Manchester up to Ladou's busy. Eastbound 64, McKnight through Hanley's heavy. South 170, slow up. Northbound 64, Big Bend, Hanley just a little bit busy. You're a little slow on westbound 70 at the city limits. Eastbound 64, still some heavy traffic from the 70 split to 25th Street. Westbound, though, looks better coming through 159. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be sunny but cold today, a high of 34 degrees, clear to partly cloudy, cold tonight with an overnight low of 23. Right now, clouds 17 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. I keep talking about things that are making me hungry. Now, how could a McKelvey Homes discussion make me hungry? Well, I'll tell you. If you're in the market for a new home, I'm going to tell you about Cottleville Trails. I've known Jim Brennan and McKelvey Homes for a long time, and this community is something special. Cottleville Trails, 5 lakes, a pool, playground, Francis House schools, and get this, you can golf cart or walk to downtown Cottleville for dinner or lunch at Menino's Market. Jim says it is his favorite new sandwich shop, and knowing Jim, that means something, and I did my own research and looked up Menino's, and it looks unbelievably good. I could go there right now and grab lunch. It's a neighborhood where you actually know your neighbors. Cottleville Trails, just part of the many communities that McKelvey Homes has available for you right now at McKelveyHomes.com. McKelvey Homes, move up to McKelvey.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. Joining me this morning, Julie Smith, Webster University media instructor, author, and public speaker. Julie, I want to talk about what young people are doing or basically not doing on social media right now. They're basically doing, I guess, what is the digital equivalent of going off grid. They're leaving social media and just using their phones as phones. What are you learning about what's happening here?
I think it's fascinating. They're doing like the digital version of quiet quitting. The time that Gen Z is spending on apps has actually been decreasing since 2022. And what they're telling researchers is that social media platforms stopped being cool when brands and politicians started using them constantly. So it's kind of like once everybody jumped on that bandwagon, it suddenly isn't the hot thing anymore. So there's a term for it called the abstinence movement, which I think is really clever. And I understand it. The platforms now are nothing but bots and AI slop and all this clickbait. It's certainly not the way it was years ago. And so a lot of Gen Z are moving back to the flip phones. They're buying vinyl records, and they're doing old style hobbies like knitting and crocheting. And I think that they're starting to recognize the value of in-person communication.
What have we seen in studies, surveys of younger people about the impact of social media on their mental health?
I think that there's loads of research about it. What's interesting to me is that the people who defend the platforms will say that there's many, many reasons today for us to have mental health issues, and that social media isn't the number one cause. And I buy that to an extent, but Gen Z is under so much pressure to constantly be online and respond to notifications, and I think they're tired of it. And I think they're really sensitive to constantly being advertised to. At least that's the vibe I get from my students. It's like they have almost this cynicism about it now because they feel like everything's monetized and it doesn't have that that real organic, authentic feel that these platforms had when they first started.
How do you think social media platforms and the influencers who use them will respond to this?
That's a really good question. I don't know. It doesn't behoove the platforms to get rid of the AI slop or the bots or the clickbait because the engagement just keeps them making money. So maybe they would come up with different apps claiming that they're more organic, or they won't allow ads or something to try to bring Gen Z back in. But we say that they're leaving. It's not like these companies are losing money. It's a trend that people are recognizing, that the younger people are frequently stopping their social media use.
She's Julie Smith, Webster University instructor, author, and public speaker. Julie, thank you so much.
Oh, you bet.
It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Celebrate jazz legend John Coltrane with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in a special one-night-only event, Coltrane 100 Legacy. Celebrate Coltrane's creative genius through powerful orchestral arrangements of his most groundbreaking works. Curated and arranged by acclaimed composer Carlos Simon, this performance features saxophone icon Joe Lovano in a journey from Coltrane's early classics to his late visionary masterpieces. It's jazz, symphony, and legacy, all in one unforgettable night with your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. February 28th at 7:30 p.m. at Powell Hall. Tickets at slso.org.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon Gantner and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
8:30, time to check the roads again with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still no change on eastbound 44, Megan. We still have our incident in the right lane, eastbound 44 east to Antire. Not quite midway down the hill to 141, so traffic is still backed up just east of the Merrimack River Bridge there, east of 109. So it's a couple miles of traffic, bumper to bumper. It's opening up a little bit in spots, but it's still very, very heavy. North 270 is cleared out. Eastbound 64 McKnight through Hanley still heavy. South 170 just slow at the Club Tower. Northbound 55, Bayless up through Virginia. A couple of slow spots, but not a jam. We have delays westbound 270. It looks like we have a stall or a crash. I can tell which it is Midspan on the Chain of Rocks, traffic's jammed about midway back to the Canal Bridge. Eastbound 64 roadwork delays from the 70 split through about 25th Street, just a slowdown there. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it looks like it'll be sunny and cold today with a high of 34 degrees, clear to partly cloudy and cold tonight with an overnight low of 23. And then tomorrow, breezy, warmer with times of clouds and sun. We're expecting a high tomorrow of 56 degrees. We do have cloudy skies downtown, 17 degrees. The leader of one of Mexico's fastest growing criminal networks has been killed. AP correspondent Marcela Sanchez has more.
The Mexican army says it killed powerful drug lord Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes in western Mexico on Sunday. He was killed during a shootout in his home state of Jalisco. He was known as El Mencho and was the powerful leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. Cartel members responded by burning cars and blocking roads in 20 Mexican states. In an interview with the AP, former DEA Chief of International Operations Mike Vigil congratulated Mexico,
Felicito a México,
saying the operation sends a powerful message to the Trump administration. Vigil said the U.S. constantly threatens to send troops into Mexico and claims it doesn't do enough to fight cartels. He said the operation shows Mexico is fighting hard and effectively. The U.S. confirmed it provided intelligence support in the operation and applauded Mexico's army for taking down one of the most wanted criminals in both countries. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
More medical devices are using artificial intelligence. If those bots mess up, can you sue? One Missouri lawmaker has proposed new rules for AI and medical malpractice. We're going to talk with him coming up on Total Information AM. First, your money report is next.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Time for your money report now, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
A powerful winter storm is hitting the East Coast and shutting down the vast majority of flights out of the largest airports in the region. According to FlightAware, more than 5,600 flights have been canceled to start the week. Delta says it expects to halt operations at New York's LaGuardia and JFK and Boston Logan into Tuesday. Confirm your flight status with your carrier before you head to the airport. Even with all the snow, it's a regular trading session today. Stock futures are lower this Monday. In other news, Gilead Sciences has agreed to buy cancer-focused biotech Arcellx for as much as $7.8 billion. Gilead has been on the hunt for deals to expand beyond its focus on antiviral medicine into cancer and other disease areas. Arcellx is developing a new class of immunotherapies for patients with cancer and other incurable diseases. The two already collaborate on the development of a potentially promising treatment for patients with multiple myeloma. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It is Zero Res's Month of Love sale. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If the carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and say you want the KMOX special.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Millions of residents in parts of the northeastern U.S. stuck at home under road travel bans and blizzard warnings as a fierce winter storm brings heavy snow, strong winds, and whiteout conditions. President Trump has announced a new 15% import tax for all countries after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled most of his tariffs were illegal. And Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, set to enter a plea in the killings of his parents after weeks of legal drama and delays. Let's see how things are rolling on the roads this morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've still got our trouble spot, unfortunately, on 44, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Meadowview Memory Care. That right lane still shut down. Eastbound 44 east to Antire, still backed up bumper to bumper most of the way back across the Merrimack River Bridge there, just east of 109. So still significant delays running that route. Northbound 55 still a little busy. Holly Hills, Virginia. Eastbound 64 just a little slow at the inner belt. Really doesn't look that bad there. They cleared that, I guess it was a stall. Westbound 270 on the Chain of Rocks Bridge. Traffic's thinning out, just a little busy west of Riverview right now. It's thinning out pretty quickly. Northbound Route 3, a backup Queenie up to Monsanto. Looks like we had a train crossing there, and there's a roadwork delay. Of course, eastbound 64 from the 70 split through 15th Street. Scheduled to be wrapped up with that today by noon. We'll see how it goes. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Discover Meadowview Memory Care in Arnold, a small, secure community on a beautiful campus. Enjoy peace of mind with all our inclusive rates and comfortable private suites. Schedule your tour today at rspseniorliving.com.
It's going to be sunny but cold today, a high of 34 degrees. Tonight will dip down to an overnight low of 23 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Breezy and warmer tomorrow, though, with a mix of clouds and sun. We're expecting a high of 56, mostly cloudy Wednesday with a high of 53, and we could see some rain moving in Wednesday night, perhaps into early Thursday. Otherwise, Thursday, partly sunny, breezy, and cool with a high of 49, and then Friday, another warm-up, sunny with a high of 67. Right now, it's quite different from that. 18 degrees in Florissant, 16 in St. Peters, and cloudy skies, 17 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're back with Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. We recently told you about reports of problems with medical devices that use artificial intelligence. Now, a St. Louis County lawmaker wants to include negligent use of artificial intelligence in medical malpractice claims. With me now, Senator Doug Beck, a Democrat from Afton. Senator, thanks for joining me this morning.
And thank you for having me, Megan.
What led you to introduce this bill?
Well, as we see, artificial intelligence is changing the way medicine is practiced, and this raises new questions about how to use it safely and who can be held accountable when something goes wrong. When it comes to health and safety of Missourians, we cannot have a gray area. We need modern laws to meet modern times. And that is why I filed this legislation to ensure that when AI is misused in medicine, it can be included in medical malpractice claims.
Walk us through your legislation. Under what circumstances could a patient bring a claim if they believe they were harmed by the use of AI?
Well, the Act basically follows along traditional medical malpractice, but the Act provides a medical malpractice claim included when a healthcare provider negligently uses, selects, or implements detrimentally relies upon artificial intelligence as defined in the Act. In the diagnosis, treatment, care of a patient, such negligence or reliance directly causes or contributes to the plaintiff's injury. So, in other words, if it's used and it's not backed up with other science, that would be part of the issue where you'd be able to have a claim.
Okay, so we're talking about everything from diagnosis to treatment, then.
Yes, that's what it's for. Another fear we have is as AI spreads in the internet, people will go on the internet and get a diagnosis from an AI type situation and then try to treat things themselves, and that's another problem we have. So,
how do you define artificial intelligence under this legislation?
Well, it's defined as artificial intelligence is not a human being. It is it's a program that increasingly uses data to increase its intelligence from past history and things of that nature. So the main thing is it's not a human being. It can be used as a tool, and that's what we're hoping, but we also don't want it to take over diagnosis and all these other things. So if that makes sense. And part of what I want to say here too, this legislation is open to be looked at, and like any other legislation. And if we can come up with better ways to define these things, I'm more than happy to do that. It is a growing thing, and I think we need to get ahead of it and at least put up these guardrails and parameters around what we're doing here.
When it comes to these devices, there have been studies that show that they have great benefit in some cases. Are you worried that legislation like this would have maybe a chilling effect on their use?
No, I wouldn't think so. I don't think in general malpractice has a chilling effect on this. There's people out there that do great things all the time, and 99% of the people, and sometimes we have malpractice, whether it's negligence or whether it's intentioned, or maybe just absence. So no, I don't think it will. And if we look at this too, and as far as AI goes, the FDA has approved more than 500 AI-enabled medical devices in 23, and they just did 6 in 2015. So I think it's going to grow, and it's going to be there for it to use. I just want to make sure it's used as a tool, and then people have a recourse in case something goes wrong. Because when a machine or something like that goes wrong, I mean, this could go in other areas as we talk about AI also, automatic cars, cabs, things of that nature. Like, who's responsible for that? And a lot of those discussions are going on right now in the state houses across the country.
What types of practitioners would this apply to? Would it just be surgeons or general practitioners? What's the spectrum?
Well, it'd be diagnosis. It'd be across the board. So, diagnosis, doctors that would use this AI process, and we're not just talking about devices either. We're talking about the AI possibly giving you, like I said earlier, a diagnosis. So, it would apply to that. But we also are, I'm welcome to have a conversation. I've had a couple of what the legislation would look like to protect folks too, and we don't want anything frivolous happening here. I'm not trying to do that. I just want people to be protected in case things go wrong.
Is there a statute of limitations on when someone could specifically make a med mal claim based on use of AI?
Yes, 2 years.
Why that limit?
That's basically where we are and some other things. So we thought it was good to put in there. So kind of keep it similar to what it is on other issues.
When it comes to this issue of AI, you mentioned, we're looking at this in other areas. How important is it for lawmakers to look down the road on this issue?
I think it's really important, and we had some conversations this week about this. It's here to stay. AI is here to stay. We just need to make sure that it's done in a proper way. I don't want to see it harm Missourians and then not have a recourse in all across that spectrum. We also do not want to, stunt innovation. We want that to continue. We want this to be a tool that can help folks and help mankind, but we don't want it to be something that develops into, something that hurts folks. You know what I mean? So there's been roughly like $109 billion investment into a lot of this AI stuff in the last year or so, and I want that to continue, of course, but I also want to make sure that Missourians are protected in many different ways from it.
Where is this in the legislative process?
It has not had a hearing yet. We've had conversations, but as I see things heating up around AI in the State House, I would love to have this a part of that conversation. So,
well, Senator, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time here on KMOX.
Yep, thank you, Megan.
That is Missouri State Senator Doug Beck. The Supreme Court strikes down tariffs Friday, while other courts approve refunds. I'll talk with CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum coming up next.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously. My dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Looking for a career change? Well, the Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level. Level up your future and earning potential. Take the first step at thegelmanteam.com.
Spring training is here, and Cardinals baseball is heating up in Jupiter as young talent and big expectations take the field. The Gas House Gang is talking Cardinals all day long. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Bernie Miklas. Smart takes, insightful analysis, real Redbird conversation, plus live reports from Camp Cardinals with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne. If it matters to Cards fans, it's on the Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on KMOX.
I'm Megan Lynch, and you're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. The U.S. Supreme Court rules President Trump exceeded his authority in issuing tariffs last year. The big question a lot of people are asking today, will anyone get any money back? Let's check in with CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, thanks for joining me this morning.
Anytime for you, Megan.
Let's go back to this ruling first off. What is the basis? What did the court say why they issued this ruling?
Well, they decided the case on what's called textualist grounds. That means they looked at the text. This oftentimes is sometimes called originalism. What did the drafters of the Constitution think, desire, and what did the people who passed legislation, what were they thinking? And so the textualists looked strictly at the language, and in this case, it uses the words emergency, and it uses the rights of a president to regulate trade, imports and exports. It says nothing about taxes and tariffs. Regulating of trade is not the same thing as tariffs. So they're saying, we're not even challenging your right to impose tariffs. The president, I think, overreacted. They were saying, you probably have other means at your disposal, but you're using the wrong statute. We're looking at this thing, and this looks very specific. That deals with tariffs. Tariffs is the prerogative of Congress. If you look at Article 2 of the Constitution, it defines the role of the president. It doesn't say anything about tariffs. Taxes is something that's the Senate and the Congress do, and you've picked the wrong weapon. They could have just said, you have no basis of doing this at all. Anything related to taxes is an overreach. But they didn't. They just said go back to the drawing board. The problem was that Donald Trump chose this statute for a reason. Because it was titled as an emergency, it gave him maximum flexibility, speed. He can impose a wider range of tariffs and higher levels of taxes. And, this is a president that likes big gestures. So he picked this statute and he played a game of chicken with the Supreme Court and said, what are you going to make me do? Refund $130 billion? Good luck to you. And in fact, they ended up saying, I don't know what you're going to do. It could be, they use the word mess, but I know what you can't do is use this statute for what you tried to achieve.
Let's talk about a refund process, because some people are saying, well, the high court should have outlined a refund process. Is that really the function of the Supreme Court?
No, but again, it's because that's the game of chicken, right? The court likes to act incrementally. You wouldn't know this by the invalidation of Roe v. Wade, but the court historically, moves very, very slowly and doesn't like to do sweeping things that change, everything in the country. And so this is what Donald Trump was counting on, that they won't know what to do with the refund, so they'll run away from this case. So they didn't, and they said, look, all our job is to validate or invalidate the use of the statute. The rest is up to Congress and the president. Congress could step in and say to the president, we know you're in a bind. We can figure out a way to make these tariffs work. Here's the deal that we want to implement. President Trump doesn't want to do that. Instead, he has 5 other statutes that deal with tariffs that allow him. For instance, there was one statute that he's already been using that the Supreme Court didn't challenge, of course, and that's one that I think it's 262 of one of the tariff acts, in which he has the right to impose tariffs on steel and other metals and automobiles for national security reasons. So there's a whole other, and one he's already used, the one that deals with 15%. Some of these tariffs involve trade agreements where they swap different, for instance, some countries are promised in return for lower tariffs to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in American manufacturing. What happens to those, right? If you were another country and you said, we cut a deal with the United States to lower the tariffs, but this is what we were going to do instead. Are we not obligated to do that anymore? We want to do that. So I don't know how this is going to get worked out, but the Supreme Court obviously said, we're not economists. We're not tax experts. We're not producing a plan. We're just here to read the law, and the incorrect law was employed.
So what is going to happen to the money the government has already collected in import taxes? What courts would oversee any kind of process like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's a really interesting question. As with most things with Donald Trump, this is unprecedented. My guess is that it'll get worked out with these other tariff statutes and through other kinds of means, maybe congressional help. There will be some nations that will just sort of withdraw from their agreements and say, you know what, everything's off the table. Your Supreme Court already invalidated your right to do this, so let's just take a pause. But President Trump is a strong man, and he's going to try to keep everyone in line. I think he doesn't believe that anything will get refunded. He just thinks that things will get swapped. There'll be different exchanges in order to keep things in place, but there won't, because this was this key signature of his economic agenda, Megan. This isn't just this. This is supposed to have led to trillions of dollars of not just tax relief, but the lowering of the deficit. The whole point was, to increase revenue. So I think he's saying, I'm a tariff guy. The Supreme Court is not changing my mind. This is going to be how we correct imbalances in trade and economic deficits. But we just have to figure out now, carve it up more specifically, rather than do it through this one statute that they've disallowed, but gave us more flexibility.
Thane, thank you so much. Appreciate your insights.
Anytime. Thank you.
That is CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum joining us this morning here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Cold beverages can trigger irregular heartbeats. A study from Kaiser Permanente, Northern California finds some people can experience an episode of atrial fibrillation, the most common form of health arrhythmias, after consuming cold beverages or food. The exact cause is unknown, but the cold may stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps regulate